Tonight on KGW News, 2 weeks to the primary. So have we reached a breaking point?
Well, it's an unfortunate direction that we're going in Oregon politics.
We ask whether the rough, brash style of some ads pays off politically.
And later, a record-breaking climb on Mount Hood. What led one man to take on a feat like this?
But first, abortion rights threatened after indications the Supreme Court plans to overturn 50 years of precedent. Local impact and political reaction. Your news starts now.
And good evening. We're going to begin with images from Washington, D.C. to San Francisco, just a few of the cities where abortion rights advocates have turned out in big numbers following that stunning leak from the U.S. Supreme Court. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. While the justices have not issued a final decision that could overturn Roe v. Wade, the leak has some Americans celebrating, with others deeply fearful of the future, even here in Oregon, where the right to abortion is protected by state law. Let's bring in Alma McCarty. And Alma, you attended 2 rallies tonight.
Laurel, David, those rallies happening in downtown Portland this afternoon. Nearly everyone we met staunchly in favor of protecting the right to abortion, and when it comes to the Supreme Court, fearing the consequences.
Health care that is ours by right.
From outside the federal courthouse,
racist, sexist, anti-trans, no to all abortion bans,
to the Portland State University campus, to the streets of cities up and down the West Coast. Hundreds gathered after the United States Supreme Court confirmed a leaked draft opinion to Roe v. Wade was authentic.
We cannot risk to lose women's choice. I have been fighting this fight since my 20s, so for 40 years I've been holding the sign. It never seems to end.
Irma Morauskas, Jackie Weissman, and Megan Lewis joined many in downtown Portland who call abortion a human right.
The part that makes me so angry is that women who have privilege, who end up in states that ban abortion, will still be able to get abortions. They will come to safe states like Oregon. The problem is poor women, black and brown women who already face so much marginalization in the healthcare system are going to be further marginalized.
Among the hundreds, we didn't see any anti-abortion activists, though earlier Tuesday we spoke with Lois Anderson of Oregon Right to Life to get her perspective.
If this decision holds, we will celebrate it. For pro-life Oregonians and Americans across the country, this is what we've been hoping for since 1973.
And while the ruling is not yet final, some, like Jennifer Lincoln, say they saw it coming.
It's not surprising. I have social media posts going back from December saying that when Roe v. Wade is overturned, not if, because it will be. And so not surprising, but also extremely disappointed.
Lincoln, who is an OBGYN, joined the crowd to protest over what the forthcoming decision could mean for women.
When we tell 50% of the population that they're no longer in charge of their bodies, we tell them that they're second-class citizens, and we tell them that they're not in charge of what they want to do with their lives.
Elected leaders in Oregon and Washington responding to the draft opinion today. Governor Kate Brown stating that access to abortion is protected by state law and that she will fight to keep it that way no matter what the Supreme Court decides. Governor Jay Inslee promised to defend abortion rights, saying he will not slow down in the fight to ensure safe, affordable access to every person who needs it. David?
And we'll point out this decision is not yet final. Thank you, Alma. All right, let's take a closer look at what Roe v. Wade essentially disappearing could mean in Oregon and Washington. Our Christine Pitawanich explains why the greatest impact might come from our neighbors.
The Supreme Court's leaked opinion has a lot of people worried about abortion rights across the country. Kim Clark has been busy answering questions. She is a senior reproductive rights attorney at Legal Voice. It's a legal advocacy organization based out of Seattle that serves Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Alaska, and Montana.
Abortion will still be legal in Washington and Oregon because both states have state statutes that have strong protections for access to abortion in Washington and Oregon.
Both states have laws requiring insurance carriers cover abortion.
Both states also have equal rights amendments, which should provide protection for the right to abortion.
But for people in Idaho, things would be different.
Idaho has both a trigger ban that will go into effect if Roe is overturned, which would ban abortion in Idaho. But it also passed a Texas SB 8 lookalike statute that enables family members to bring private causes of action against abortion providers.
That, Clark says, could force people who have the means to travel to Oregon or Washington to get care.
Abortion providers in both states are expecting a dramatic increase in patients coming from out of state in order to access care.
And that could put stress on providers in more ways than one. States banning abortion if Roe v. Wade is overturned could sue providers in the Northwest.
We're not under any illusion that the states that are banning abortion will stop at banning abortion just within their borders.
Who knows what changes will come?
Former Oregon Representative Jeff Barkley was one of the chief co-sponsors of the 2017 bill that would later become an Oregon law protecting abortion access. After seeing the Supreme Court's draft opinion, he's concerned about what other rights may be on the chopping block in the future, rights like gay marriage.
We're seeing attacks on gays and trans people. This is kind of they're breaking the dam open with this one, and I worry about the future.
Christine Pitawanich, KGW News.
The leak of the draft opinion comes about 2 weeks ahead of the primary election in Oregon. And so today, abortion rights were the leading topic in our debate with Republican candidates for governor. KGW co-hosted a debate with the City Club of Portland with oncologist Bud Pierce, business executive Jessica Gomez, conservative writer Bridget Barton, and mayor of Sandy Stampulliam. And David and I asked each of them if the Supreme Court were to overturn Roe v. Wade, where they would stand on abortion access in Oregon.
We need to support women's health. It's really an important part. Oregon is pro-choice. I'm pro-choice, and we should remain that way.
My effort will be on to better support pregnant women in their pregnancy after their children are born.
I would pull back taxpayer funding for abortions. That would be a goal. And I would try to get back to where most Oregonians that as polled are now, which is only up to the second trimester.
I will sign any piece of pro-life legislation that comes across my desk.
Former House Republican leader Christine Drazan was set to participate in the debate today, but she dropped out a couple of hours before it started. She did not give a reason. You can watch the full 90 minutes now on KGW.com or on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was an intriguing conversation. Let's stay with politics here, which Pat Doris and the Story team cover extensively. One of the things that has come up as we approach the primary, political ads full of profanity. Interesting, right? Okay, so who is taking the low road? And just as significantly, does it actually work? Pat couldn't resist finding out.
Now, I know you're being slammed by political ads from candidates right now. It's probably going to go on for a couple of more weeks at least. One viewer told me he's about to wear out the mute button on his remote control because of all the ads. I get it. But I've also heard from several of you who are offended by some of the words and some of the language used in these ads.
Sid writes, I've noticed that in this early round of political ads, the candidates appear to have added swear words to their message. Are they trying to appear tough, or have we reached a point where we've become intellectually bankrupt and can no longer communicate without them? And Christie adds, I'm baffled why there are so many political ads with candidates swearing in them. What's the deal with this? I'm no Pollyanna and have a healthy swearing vocabulary, but hearing potential elected officials say, we've had to beep that out, and other swear words is a total turnoff to me. Has anyone else brought this up? Well, as a matter of fact, Christy, yes, they have. Here's an email we got from Kim. I can't believe they think they must use this language. Do they think they are in touch with the voters talking like this? This voter is not impressed.
For a deeper dive on all this, I turn to our political strategist and expert, Len Bergstein. He's the president of Northwest Strategies.
Bergstein has seen the same ads you have. They're hard to miss. Ads like this one from Republican Bob Tiernan.
Politicians in Salem think government always knows best. Well, I think that's bullshit.
We're hearing from a lot of viewers who are saying, what is going on?
Well, it's an unfortunate direction that we're going in Oregon politics. For the longest time, we thought that Oregon was immune from the kind of cage sports that go on in other parts of the country, that we could engage in disputes about policy with civility, and and we could disagree without being disagreeable. But all that's changed. Our politics have really become the politics of outrage and grievance.
Bergstein says with all that's going on in our world, the lingering impact of COVID, violence in our cities, and the continuing problem with homelessness, voters are angry.
It used to be that you could get away if you were a Bill Clinton or somebody like that with a "I feel your pain" and biting your lip and kind of like making it seem as though you really could understand what the voter was going through. That we've gone beyond that era. And in fact, politicians want to connect up with the outrage, grievance, and anger that voters are feeling. And the shorthand way of doing that is by using crude and kind of language that you wouldn't normally see in Oregon politics.
Both sides are using the technique. Here's Democrat Tina Kotek running for governor. In this ad, she and supporters talk about the things she's been called.
She's real tough.
And then there were some other words for tough that women get called.
So then the question is, do these ads work? Well, what do you think? Do they get your attention in a positive way, or do they turn you off? Here's another by Republican Bridget Barton.
Everyone knows you get the same electing the same failed politicians.
Bergstein says for the most part, they do work, at least in the primary election in May, because voters are very frustrated.
And they want some more action. And there is, unfortunately, this kind of language is a shorthand way of somehow demonstrating that you're action-oriented and you're tough enough to solve the problems.
I guess we'll see if they work when the primary election rolls around. It's May 17th. We'll be watching.
I'm afraid we're in for more action-oriented ads for a couple more weeks at least. For an in-depth look at the big stories of the day, check out The Story. That's each weekday at 6 o'clock. Pat Doris right here on KGW.